morning, everybody. It is a Monday morning. Molo Sanbonani. Hello, how's it? Hello. Welcome to it. It is Vuka Nazo. Man. As always on the show, if you want to get in touch with us here at the BDL show, find us on our website at www.bigdaddyliberty.com. And of course, you can also find us on our social media. All of that information is in the descriptor of this video. With that being said, let's get straight into the news. All right, we begin here this morning. Oh my goodness, South Africa is literally like a movie, is it not? The city of Ethekwini, that's Durban, of course, finding itself on the wrong side of the law. In this case, the sheriff entering various office spaces in the city in order to seize the assets of the city. This is after a business that was owed and is rather owed money by the Ethekwini Municipality successfully applied in the High Court for an order, a warrant to execute the seizure of assets of the municipality in order to pay back a 30 million rand debt. Now, I'm going to put that image on the screen of the actual warrant of execution. Indeed, here's a short video of just how sad an image the employees of the Ethekwini Municipality were as the sheriff proceeded to collect items from computers to printers, office equipment, and even vehicles from the municipality. Have a look at this. All right, you can see, of course, just how sad an image the employees were, as a lot of them looked bewildered, as, of course, who's ever heard of a metro, not just a municipality, a metro, having the sheriff visit it in order to seize assets to repay its debt. Clearly, the Ethekwini Municipality is not a Lannister in the sense that it is not, it does not pay its debt. And boy, oh boy, the sheriff came through the offices like a dragon to snatch up everything. I make fun of this, of course, as I perhaps shouldn't, because I'm a resident to an extent of the Ethekwini Municipality, and this will, of course, likely impact on service delivery. Indeed, opposition parties here in Durban worried about that exact point. That's the DA and the IFP haven't come out in statements to express their concern about this. But let me quickly just go over and I'll read from a piece in News 24, which covered this issue as to the extent of the items being taken, because I can assure you, at 30 million rands, this little round of the seizure of goods is probably round one of either two or many, because 30 million rand for items that will be sold on auction in order to recover these funds for this one company is going to take quite a while. News 24 had this to say about it. Now, the paper understands that the sheriff of the court seized office equipment, including printers, computers, telephones, at the municipal offices in Jeff Taylor Crescent, Stamford Hill, after the city failed, of course, to pay back a 30 million rand plus 13 million rand in interest to the service provider. A warrant of execution, as I showed you, was issued on the 28th of May, which instructs the sheriff to attach the city's assets. End of quote. Now the question is, after such a massive stunt, you'll expect the city to say, you know what, we are in the wrong, a mea culpa, we're going to pay back this debt, we're going to be Lannisters, we're going to do right by this particular company, because ultimately also this is a matter of the economy. It's a shameful act that small entrepreneurs who are rendering services to the city. Now, I'm not prosecuting the issue of this particular company. I know nothing about it. So I'm at face value, I'll say this. It is a small company that rendered a service to the city, and it's now seemingly being jerked around. And the courts obviously are on the side of this company, which brings me back to the point I was building. Here are small companies who already struggle to even be paid on time by the Ethekwini Municipality, now resorting to actually having to seize the assets of the municipality to be paid back. It is a drastic step that I don't think any company takes lightly, and you'd expect, therefore, the municipality to say, we're sorry, mea culpa, we're going to pay immediately, here's a check, dear company. Oh, no. That's not what the municipality said. In fact, the municipality spokesperson coming out with fighting language and saying, almost suggesting, how dare this company try and recover their money. This is the words of the spokesperson of the Ethekwini Municipality. The municipality spokesperson, A1 Musa Wenkosi Maisela, told the newspaper that the city wanted the service provider to, quote, stop what they are doing, close quote. And if not, the municipality would escalate its grievances to the Supreme Court of Appeal. Open quote, our legal team is currently approaching the company to stop whatever they're doing, failing which they will have to secure, we will have to secure, that is, a court interdict. The matter is being appealed at the Supreme Court of Appeal, said Maisela. End of quote. Oh, man. I told you, this country is like a movie. You would expect the municipality to just pay the damn man. Pay him his dues. But no, we're going to rather take money that we should be using to pay this man and rather instead, almost as a middle finger to the residents of Durban, now go on a costly legal escapade in order to basically throw good money to try and recover bad money, or in this case, to prevent paying money that is now a bad debt to the Poloba company in this particular instance. It's shocking, it's disgusting, it's untoward, and really it has to be called out. And I would hope opposition parties are going to be a lot more vocal on this issue, because the city has a responsibility to maintain a good financial standing, not only with residents, but also to its service providers. It is unacceptable that entrepreneurs, the people who are breaking their back to try and render services, and again, I'll say this, because I know there are issues around some of the service providers to the city of Cape Town, you know, a lot of them, or some of them rather, being connected cronies of, you know, politicians in the city. And I'm not suggesting that this company is that, I know nothing of it, but it's enough for me to say, even at face value, the city still has a responsibility to pay on time so that these guys don't resort to punishing the rest of residents in order for them to get their cash back. City of Durban, pay the damn man. Nothing exemplifies the collapse of a nation than its standing with the rest of the world. How the rest of the world views a particular country. South Africa, for example, is one country which has lost its shine on the global community. You see this, in how our institutions are viewed, in how our documentation is perceived by the rest of the world. Nothing exemplified this more than the comments made by the Home Affairs Minister, Aaron Motsoaledi, in Parliament. Now, he made those comments, of course, to the National Council of Provinces as he was fielding questions in that lower house of Parliament. And one of the issues, of course, that came up was the issue of how corruption and fraud had destroyed institutions of South African government, and the South African passport is a telltale symbol of just how disrespected or just how the effects of destroying institutions has a knock-on effect on how South Africans are viewed by the rest of the world. Don't take it from me, of course. As I said, he was fielding questions in the NCOP on the South African documentation, and his words were exactly that. The South African passport, a once respected document worldwide, indeed much sought after document worldwide by both the business community, travelers and the like, because it, at once upon a time, was a document that could see you go to most parts of the world almost unhindered, has now become a laughingstock. Why? because of corruption of the very institutions. Now, this is what the minister said on this particular issue as he was fielding questions, as I said, in Parliament. The minister is quoted in EWN as saying, some years back, South Africa's passport used to be respected all around the world. Recently, it is doubted, he says. People laugh and make jokes when they see stories on our social media. For instance, the joke that was once made about a gentleman called Lebogang Ndlovu of Bangladesh, the minister explained. Now, don't get me wrong, I raise this issue because I laugh, and it's slightly funny to an extent, but what isn't funny is how there is a correlation with the devaluation of our passport and the devaluation of the seriousness with which South Africans are viewed. That is a serious matter. That is not a laughing matter by any stretch of the imagination. And it begs the question, who stems this tide? Do we expect the politicians to do that? The very same politicians who have failed us in the near 30 years of democracy in this country? Or do you do it, the voter? Do you take responsibility and say, this is where we cut off the decline of our country, the decline of our institutions? This is where I, the voter, vote better and choose better so that we can actually build this nation and build its economy back into the stature where it is respected worldwide. This story really registered in that sense for me because it speaks to how corruption and the crumbling of institutions is affecting you and your quality of life. All right, we'll end it off here in a video that really frustrated me immensely. Guys, here's the situation. I'm going to play a quick clip and you'll see exactly why I got frustrated by what the people in this video did.
Oh, good. What's the road? Are they running?
They're running, okay.
Oh, wait, they're bringing out a gun. Just go.
Just pretty steady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, go.
You can have to go on. Take everything.
Oh, goodness me. Do not stop. Do not stop. Use your vehicle as a getaway tool. That is the safest thing you could do in a situation like that. Indeed, when you look at the vehicles that went around them as they then stopped and were being ransacked by these thugs, these criminals, on the N2 death run, as it's come to be called in Cape Town, you can see why it is important people to have a mindset, a defensive, alert mindset that it seeks you getting out of trouble like this. Guys, it is frustrating because it begs the question, what do you expect? Why do you think it'll be safer for you to place your life, your liberty, and your property in the hands of those people? For all you could know, they're heavily armed, as was the case, because they seem to be flashing weapons, and they could be high on something, and there's no guarantee that they hold the same moral value or the value on life that you do, for example, in that situation. So why would you hand them that power in a situation like that when you have the option to evade? Now, don't get me wrong, not all of these instances see you have those options, and indeed, I want to quickly read a piece from this, but before I do, some feedback on that particular issue. The spokesperson for the South African Police Service in Cape Town, that's Frederick van Wyk, actually had this to say in a IOL piece. The Western Cape spokesperson, Captain Frederick van Wyk, confirmed that police are investigating that incident. He then goes on to say, please, open quote, be advised that a robbery with a firearm case was opened at Sea Point SAPS for investigation on Sunday. The case itself will be transferred to Khayelitsha SAPS for further investigation. Now, this particular piece, of course, as I mentioned, has tips and hints on what to do in situations like these and others, of course, where maybe you can't escape. And, then compliance becomes your biggest tool. The advice they get was from the National Hijacking Prevention Academy. I don't know about their credentials, but you can read that that in the piece, that information is in the descriptor. For me, it's enough to conclude by saying this. It is a mindset, people. It is a mindset thing, pardon me, people. We now have a situation where criminals in this country recognize that they are ruling the roost. You are on your own, dear citizen, and it's one of two things. You can either be a victim of the crime in this country, or you can choose to be someone who can do something about it, standing with other South Africans to do something about it. At a personal level, it's about being alert, seeing, always keeping an eye out of where you are in your environment, and of course, always seeking to evade any danger that comes your way. And step two, beyond evading, in those moments where perhaps you have the ability, I always say this, become a legal firearms owner in this country. And it's more than just owning the gun. Train regularly so you have a defensive mindset. Someone who talks a lot about this is Gideon Ube. I have him on my show quite a lot. You'll find him at Paratus, of course. I'll put his details in the descriptor of this video. Maybe we'll actually even have a chat on the Wednesday show, the Wednesday episode of the Big Daddy Liberty Show with Gideon and Ian Cameron of Action Society as we break down the crime stats, and we'll look at cases like these and what you can do in these situations. All right, folks, we end this morning's show here today on this, the Monday edition of Vuka Nazo. What are your thoughts on some of these issues? Remember, to get in touch with me, find me at my website. That's at www.bigdaddyliberty.com. And of course, if you're looking to make a financial contribution to the show, all of that detail is in the website at the bottom. And please contribute. People are contributing as little as 100 Rand to 150 Rand a month. It really does help in helping me create this show. Also, find me on my social media. All of the information is in the descriptor of this video. If you're watching on YouTube, do me a solid favor, hit the subscribe button, and of course, that bell notification so that you're notified every weekday rather, from 7 a.m. when Vuka Nazo is on your screen. Enjoy your morning.